What is going on, guys? It's MrVerry here, and today I'm going to be doing crystal spiders, ice golems, and wyverns. So, what's neat about this particular bracket, I think it's 49 to 89, something like that, is you can complete 3 tasks at once by hunting in this area. So, that's pretty cool. And much to my own surprise, I thought I'd already done a video on this, but if I had, it must have gotten lost. So I was just going to basically go around and show a couple different areas that house these creatures. And one of them is right above me, but that area is usually camped. So I was going to go down here and show this spot because I know this spot isn't camped too often. So that'll make it easier for some of you, especially if you live on a populated world. Rubera actually isn't that populated, but regardless of that fact, most of the good hunting areas are still camped. However, for those of you who haven't heard, they have done, Sipsoft has been implementing new features to take on botters. And with that, a very, very heavy amount of setbacks has occurred to the leading guild on this server. And a lot of them have said that they're no longer going to bot with their main characters, or that the price that they may have to pay is not worth it. And this is happening across all servers, to my knowledge. People are saying, well, I've got a level 300, and we don't, who's to say if they leveled it most of the way or not? No one knows. You can't really tell the extent of someone's botting. Only they know. But regardless, so these people are realizing, wow, maybe it's not worth it to lose my character now that Sipsoft has these awesome new detection methods. And we don't really know how good they are yet, but we know they exist. So, for those of you who are still botting, and I don't expect you to reveal yourself, although in YouTube land you do have a bit of ambiguity unless you've posted videos with your character on it. But regardless, I'm sure that anyone who's botting who hears this is certainly giving it a second guess at the very least, because it'd be pretty devastating to lose all your hard work, or even if a bot did it, that's still you having to get up and turn the bot on and shit. Like, it's not nearly as much work, and I don't think it deserves nearly as much credit, but it does still take some effort. So, with that said, you don't really want to lose it. And not to mention, although I've said in the past that I think that characters that are botted are much less valuable, they aren't much less valuable in the monetary sense, unless they already have a criminal record, like some strikes against them, or they're on a deletion warning. Then, yeah, they're worth less money. But aside from that, who knows? And yeah, ice golems are just great on loot nowadays. So we can see that in this particular cave, it's pretty much just strictly ice golems until up here. I think up here where the crystals kick in. I might be wrong. I don't know. It's been a minute. But I wanted to show this area because the other one is usually hunted in, although it didn't look like anyone was there, so we're going to go check that out after this. But I figured I would show, a couple areas. That way, if your server's populated and you can't get the main area, then at least you have other options. And oh yeah, if you're a knight, I see no reason not to kill mammoths as you're walking around. Um, they're pretty good experience and they're cake. Okay, so now we're close to the main area. And what do I mean by main area? I mean the main area that is usually hunted in here. But it doesn't look like anyone's here, so that's a good sign. So we're going to Xani her up and start going to town. And once you start hunting crystal spiders, it does take a little more supplies, but the payout is much better too. So, and crystals really aren't that tough. They're really easy for sorcerers because they are weak to energy. But paladins will do fine here so long as they can outrun them. And druids will do alright just using a death rod and, of course, energy attacks. And the ice golems are absolute cake for sorcerers or druids because they're pretty weak to energy, they're slow, so that really gives you an advantage with them. And of course, like I said, you can do all task parts at once here. So there's crystals, wyverns, and ice golems. So you can get all of them done at once. Wyverns are the only ones that don't have a boss, and to be completely honest, no one really cares about the ice golem boss. You're not going to get much from it. I did a video killing it the other day, but unfortunately that part got deleted, but I showed the loot from it and it wasn't anything special. I'm sure it didn't make anyone want to jump up and do a ice golem task. And honestly, I don't really see the point in doing an ice golem task all by itself. But if you want to get 3 tasks done all at once by creatures that are all close to each other, then yeah, this is certainly a good spot to do it. And I'm surprised this isn't camped. This is normally a pretty big area, and most of the time I've come here on my server, Rubera, it's almost always camped, but today might be my lucky day. And I was thinking about doing a grind fest on Adranus. I was going to go to Banuta, as I can't really, it seems like I can't get my guildmates to rally together to do some Rashomon, which really sucks because it's still a fresh area for me. You know, it's the newest area from the update, and I haven't gotten to hunt there quite as much as I would like to. So, I don't know, it's just an area I would really like to do more. Plus, I'm really interested in learning more about umbral weapons and working towards attaining them, as I'm sure a lot of you are. If you've seen the new umbral weapons, oh my god, they look so good. I was talking about the spellbook, the master spellbook, in my other video, just because that looks amazing. But yeah, you can see the gold's pretty good here. We already got a shard, and shards are worth 2k a piece, but if you haven't completed the Ice Islands quest yet, you might want to save it for that. And you can see to the south and west here is where the majority of crystal spiders are. There's a ton in this area. And when it's 1v1, I don't really need to use heavy attacking spells. I can just beat it up, and I'm sure that this is profitable. And for those of you who are wondering, I'm almost level 76. I'm 9285, and I've got a pretty nice set. With a royal axe now, of course. I haven't even done Scrapper Arena on this character. That's just me being lazy, but I am going to do that soon, as I'm sure this character can easily handle it. I've seen characters at lower levels handle it. And we get a spider silk, so already, that's awesome. Very, very helpful to paying for the cause. And we're going to drop down here and take out this area as well. And wow, Frosty Heart and a Glacier Mask. So we get the one like super good rare that Crystal Golems drop, which is a Glacier Mask, so that's really cool. And we get a spider, we have a spider silk and a shard. So far this hunt is pretty successful. Definitely a lot better than the ones I've had off cam here. And I just wanted to walk around a lot of the areas that I personally like to do here, just so I could show you guys, I don't know, a general spot, like pattern that I do, and spots that you might like to do, and where things spawn if you haven't been here yet. But yeah, as I was saying, my ISP, I don't know if I said this already, I meant to though. My ISP has been being a little funky. It disconnected me a bunch earlier today, like off and on throughout the day. So I was kind of nervous to go and hunt on Adranus as I don't want to have to get my level back again. And I'm sure you guys would understand that being my logic. But if things are cleared up tomorrow and I can get a decent group to go to Rashomon, I would really like to do a grind fest there and go deeper than we have before because I don't know, I don't like going to the same spots over and over again, and I know that a lot of you probably just come to my videos just to listen to the commentary, um, or listen to it while you're hunting or whatever, because I do that. Um, that's a pretty common thing on YouTube, but at the same time, if I can give you guys a really interesting area or something that I think would be really cool to show you, then I don't know, I'm more apt to do it. It just sucks that I'm not able to do it by myself without really putting my character in danger. But let's see, we almost have but hopefully I can get some people to go soon. It's really just a matter of finding a druid, although we don't really need a druid because if I just set the knight that's blocking to attack and I take my wand off and I proceed to just heal him with ultimate healing runes on target, then we'll be fine. But I don't know, even that is not catching on quite as well as I would hope. But hopefully we can get one of our main druids on. We have a level 300 druid who plays pretty often, so hopefully he'll be on one of the times I am. Or I can make another post in our guild's Facebook and see if we can get stuff going, because I am very eager. Ooh, and we get a nasty hit on them. That was just devastating. And finish them off with a nice Exori. Get that Utora back up. Nice eco in. And that's going to do it for the first backpack. So now on to our second backpack, and I'm probably going to show the way out as well as do a lap around there because there's more wyverns there, and to keep up consistent and I'm trying to make the numbers of each task pretty equal so that I don't have to spend a lot of time going back and just focusing on one creature. But for those of you who don't know, you can select the boss creature, and before you kill that boss creature, if you have a task space open, you can hold on. Alright. You can re-enable the task and continue to do it. So that's pretty handy. At least I've always thought. So, on your way to the flesh crawler boss, you can kill a bunch of ancient scarabs because you do have to kill like around 15, maybe a little more, a little less. It's around there. Ancients on your way, so why not, right? And alright, dropping some pots just to make room for some more gold. And this area is really huge. It's sad to see just a single person camp it a lot of the time, because I can also Exori her down here, which I will, why not? And there's going to be a couple crystal spiders, a couple ice golems, and then I'll show you the main way up to the area we were just at, not the weird roundabout way I came in. And 82 gold coins. Yeah, I think I said this in the last video, but I'll say it again. Ice golems used to give terrible loot. like nothing. If you were lucky, you would get a black pearl or a small sapphire occasionally, and that was it. Nowadays, the loot is much, much nicer, and that's a good thing because they were one of the creatures that really needed a loot buff. Ooh, getting some disgusting damage. It's crazy to see how hard knights actually hit with a good weapon and decent skills. Of course, they still have to take damage, so... And their healing isn't exactly the best, although with recovery and Exura Eco does heal a pretty decent amount for 40 mana, so... And you can see that there's 3 crystal spiders right in a close proximity here, and I think there's actually a 4th around the corner. But I'm not 100% sure. We'll find that out in just a second. And I know there's a horde of ice golems right here where I am with my mouse. Oh, I was hoping that would finish, but no luck. Alright. So we're going to take out those ice golems and then haste back up here and Exani her up, head over where there's more wyverns and kind of more of a mix of creatures as opposed to just a bunch of ice golems and crystal spiders. And you'll find more wyverns on the floors, not these floors, but I don't know how to explain it. I'll just have to show you. But alright, so that was pretty successful. And we'll haste over. And the floor below this is strictly mammoths and wyverns, but there's not really that many wyverns. Right below where I just was, there's 2, and then there's, I think, 1 or 2 more single spawns along the way. And we're going to check on these. Looking good. Alright. And we gotta hurry back up, use a little mana. And then right to the north here, there's ice golems and crystals. And there's stairs to the southeast, which are usually the way I get up, but like I said, I did it kind of a funny way this time around. And it's not necessary to use, you know, these big attacks like I am, but I don't know, I like just powering through and I've got the money to do it, so it's fun to get my knight experience as fast as I possibly can. Even if it ends up costing me a bit, but my luck here's been pretty good, so far I would say that most of what I've looted would probably finance this hunt anyway. Alright. I think there's one more spider. Oh, look at that, a wyvern. Cool. And wyverns are cake. They do have some elemental resistances, so they might be a little more annoying for sorcerers and druids, but for knights and paladins, they are real easy. Pretty much just walk right through them. And let's see our EXP per hour here. 154k per hour, and that's with me kind of walking around and not strictly focusing on what I would like, well, what you should be, you know, just not powering through, although I am powering through as far as using a shitload of mana, but that's alright. Alright, so to the south here, there's a bunch of wyverns and crystal spiders, and to the north, there's several crystal spiders and wyverns as well, so all around good times. And nice, we get off a mass to finish off the group, and before that, just using Exories and front sweeps and doing work. And we get another small sapphire, so no lack of them. And we're going to pox because the poison that wyverns use is pretty heavy. Lots of strong mana potions too. I've already gotten 6, so for those sorcerers and druids who are wondering about hunting here, that's always nice, getting those replenished. And you can make huge, I mean huge loot bags here with plate armors and um, plate armors. Sorry, guys. And steel helmets and crystal swords. Of course, I don't know if you have access to Rashid, but if you do, the crystal swords are definitely worth taking too if you're going to make a loot bag, because they're 600 a pop, so at least I think they're 600. I know they're worth a decent amount. And the crystal spiders drop them. I want to say the ice golems drop them too, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. So we're approaching the way that I usually come in and where people leave letters, which is right there. And that's where we're going to exit in a second. But not before I show some more stuffs. And just as I was talking about how great this place is for strong mana potions, we get yet another. And finish off that ice golem to go on to the next. And it looks like we got to get another Utura up. Our health is getting a little low. And you can see this loops around to where we came up, which was right here, which is where I Exani herd up to get up to the spot with all the crystals and ice golems. So you can go that way, and you can go down back into the caves I went into, or you can loop around the way I did in the beginning of the video. There's lots of different ways to get around here. At first, the Formorgar Glacier, which is where we are, might seem a little confusing to navigate, but once you hunt here for a little bit and make your way around it, it's really, really simple, and it's going to seem very convenient that you can just Exani her up and down wherever you please. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys one more spot that I think is important to know, and I showed it in my other video, but in case you hadn't seen this, and I'm right here anyway, I might as well show you where Shardhead spawns in to get to where the Bloodweb spawns in. That would take a little bit more time and effort, and I'm going to be doing that on Verry anyway once I have enough crystal spider kills, so you can either wait till that comes out, or you can check on my all paw and fur bosses level 6 through 129 on Adranus and see how I did it there. And we get an ice cube, so we'll try to sculpt that, although you do have a very, very low chance of sculpting it correctly, something like 3 to 4 times in a row. And real close to level 76. Experience is certainly decent here. And oh, and we finally get a strong health potion. So that's helpful, as for knights and pallies, but it seems like they're much more likely to drop strong mana potions. And up here, there's a couple of ice golems very close together. So if you're a low-level mage or you are uncomfortable with taking hits to ice golems, which, let's be honest, they do hit pretty hard for being a golem, which after you fight stone golems and then you see ice golems, it's like, whoa, because these things are way more beefy than stone golems. They make stone golems look absolutely pathetic. And we're gonna ditch the plate armor because it's way too heavy, and we're better off carrying gold and other goodies. So Alright, so right here's a pretty cool spot because it's the man in the cave spot, and while I haven't heard of the man in the cave spawning for a very long time, I can't help but walk around here and hope to get roped up because I have killed him before. And for those of you who do not know what the man in the cave is, look it up. It's actually a parody of a really, really silly forum post, which was made by someone who's probably from a different country. And I don't know. It's pretty funny though, and I don't know, it's in good humor. So you can see over there is a teleport, and that is to Shardhead. Big surprise, right? And we get off another Exori, and just cleaning up here. Ooh, and another strong health potion. How about that? And we got a bunch of dead ice golems all in one spot, so time to go through all the bodies. And I'm actually going to pull that. Oh, I already used it. How about that? Don't even need to pull it. But yep, this is Shardhead's teleporter, for those of you who are wondering. And yeah, I guess that's about all I wanted to show you guys. So let's see. I already had some kills, I forget exactly how many, but I'm about a third of the way done with the ice golems. I just started the wyverns, which I've only gotten 8 of, but I was also focusing on areas that are very crystal golem, or ice golem, sorry, slash crystal spider heavy. And if you play your cards right, you can hunt in the areas where there's a decent amount of wyvern spawns in addition to the ice golems and the crystal spiders. You might still have to do a couple on the side to clean up the extras once you've finished your ice golem and crystal spider task, but anyways, this is where I'll conclude my video. There's still quite a bit of space I didn't cover, but I showed most of the area, and you can explore the rest. It's all ice golems, crystal spiders, and wyverns. And like I said, this is a great spot to get task points, and one of the few times that you can do 3 tasks simultaneously. Although at higher levels in Benuta, you can do Medusas, serpent spawns, and hydras at the same time, but I digress. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment on this video with any feedback you may have for me, and if you haven't already and you enjoy the content I produce, subscribe to my channel to get updated when I produce new content. Once again, thanks for watching, guys.